All right, good evening and welcome back to our channel, Princess Seat. We thank the Lord for being with us since morning and bringing us to the setting of the sun. The sun is going down very fast, and we want to lighten something today still remains the 10th of October 2025, and we want to really light on something very important concerning the dropping of Akogun this morning in that powerful and emotionally charged voice note that was released. Chief Akogun, a name that had long been silent in this ongoing grant and disbursement discussions, finally broke out on his silence with a passionate message this morning that it kind of now stirred some hope in this ecosystem and also determination among subscribers and stakeholders alike. His tone was not just one of concern, but of urgency and also leadership, as he directly called on Madam Ngozi Israel to take immediate action to end this long-standing delay that is surrounding the disbursement process. Now, according to him, Chief Akogun emphatically stated that Madam Ngozi Israel must, without further delay, reach out to the officials in South Africa, not in Switzerland anymore, no, but now in South Africa, those allegedly in charge of the disbursement, logistics and global coordination, and compel them to commence the release of the funds immediately. He also insisted that this process should begin today, and not tomorrow, not even next week, but today, as the continued silence and postponements have become unacceptable, largely unacceptable. Then his voice, Chief Akogun's voice, seems to have carried the weight of a man who has been pushed to the limits of patience, despite he hasn't come out in time. And he said enough is enough, that the masses who have waited for years now deserves to see tangible actions. So his actions does not appear to be reckless, because you could hear him plead. He said, I am not the kind to foment trouble, but I'm just pleading, that was strategic enough and also deeply emotional. He represented the collective exhaustion of thousands of Nigerians who have held onto this faith and praying and believing that this breakthrough was very close, sometimes only for deadlines to be shifted time and time again. Now, he further accused certain quarters of prolonging the process unnecessarily. He said it's only few that is troubling the peace of this country, and then suggested that some internal loopholes might be responsible for the repeated setbacks. To him, the time has come to really confront the truth directly and openly. In other words, no more secrecy. And that's what he declared, implying that those at the center of the process owe the people full transparency at a time like this. Now, he further on his advancement, and he wasn't only speaking this time around just from the place of emotion alone. He backed his words now with some clear ultimatum and a plan of action, which is stated that if nothing significant happens between now and the 20th of October, today is 10, so in the next 10 days, if nothing concrete or major move concerning disbursement takes place, that a major decision would be executed. And according to him, that a meeting has already been held, during which it was agreed that 5 representatives from each of the 36 states in Nigeria would be selected. And that reminds me, I think it was King Chong this morning, after I released that voice note on this platform, that my friend King Chong sent me a message that I should please send my number, that he wants to be part of the 5 people. What an action! That he wants to be 5 people that will be selected in the states, to represent these dutiful individuals. Now, the function of the representatives will serve as the voice of their respective states and also be tasked with gathering some first-hand information and evidence regarding the ongoing delay. And their job would be a kind of, though it has not been stated by Chief Harkogun, according to him it will be stated, but I perceive it might be to investigate, to question, and also to document what has truly been happening behind closed doors, to ensure that the process has legal weight and credibility. Chief Harkogun also mentioned that a senior advocate of Nigeria, a son, would be brought into the picture, to lead the legal front. And this son, alongside the selected representatives, will now serve some formal queries to those believed to be responsible for the unnecessary delay, so as to uncover the real cause of the of the setbacks and establish a roadmap for accountability in the country. Now, I think what stands out in all of the Chief Harkogun's message, yes, what seems to have stood out is that it's no longer about complaints or some emotional appeal as we used to have, but this time around it appears to be a shifting or a movement from waiting to acting now. From a shift from waiting to acting, because for years a lot of stakeholders and beneficiaries and and the individuals have really been filled with these emotional pleas, explanations, reassurances that nothing has spoiled, But Chief Harkogun's voice note this morning represents a turning point, which is actually a demand for result. And he clearly believes that the era of continuous process and promises must give way now to visible progress. And the call for legal involvement and structural representation actually shows that he is not relying on rumors or unverified claims anymore, but is now prepared to introduce an official process that can stand the test of scrutiny. And I think this approach, while it is bold, is also strategic, because it recognizes that the issue has grown beyond just mere administrative delay. It has become a matter of trust and accountability, and Nigerians are no longer content with hearing that disbursement will soon start, or it will start next week, or this and that. They want transparency this time around. They want updates and they want proof of movement. So we could see that his message has placed a spotlight on Madam Ngozi Israel, who has been one of the most vocal and visible figures in this ongoing conversation about the grant disbursement. She has been seen by a lot of people now in recent, more reflective period as a bridge between the leadership team and the beneficiaries, trying to release some words in time and also offering some hope to the masses. However, in this latest development, the tone of Harkogun actually suggests that he now expects Madam Ngozi Israel to move beyond just communication and try and take decisive action, by calling those he called the boss or the Oga in South Africa, or those the boss wants to go and meet in South Africa, to begin disbursement. And he was heard urging her to activate whatever channel of authority that she has to make the long-promised payment a reality. And to me, it's a way of saying, like, you have spoken enough, you've talked too much, but now it is time for you to begin to act. And this could either create some synergy if Madam Ngozi Israel embraces this challenge. Invariably, it could also spark some tension if she perceives that challenge as an attack or a challenge to her leadership. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. Now, he didn't stop at that. he moved towards November. He declared that if by the end of October, specifically by November 1st, 2025, no visible progress has been made. It was initially between now and 20th. Between now and 20th, actions will be taken, selections will be done. Then by 1st of November, there's no visible progress that has been made, then action would also be expedited. Though he did not fully explain what kind of an action this would be, but the tone of his message suggested that it will be decisive, it's going to be organized, and also possibly legal in nature. You understand? As long as the legal practitioners, the SAN, and the rest of them will be around. And this is an expectation that has erupted within now to November, which appears to be like a defining situation. The moment when talk will finally give way to action. And that's also sending a strong message to all the stakeholders that there is a new kind of pressure that is erupting right now within the system, one that combines both advocacy with accountability. Yes. Towards the end of his message, he vividly says that he is the Moses that God sent to fight for the masses. And that's one of the most striking part of his message also. That statement was both symbolic and also spiritual. And by invoking the biblical figure of Moses, Chief Akogun actually cast himself as a liberator, one chosen by God, by the mandate to lead the people out of oppression, out of confusion, and waiting into fulfillment. And this choice of words, it's quite so important. That's like a man who is not afraid to challenge systems, to demand transparency of the inside actions, and also speak truth to power. To people possibly who have listened to this, that might kind of reflect the kind of leadership that is not afraid of confrontation when justice and fairness seems to be at stake. And to some other persons, maybe it may have come across as an overly dramatic or self-promoting, but regardless of the interpretation that people can prefer to that, I think that statement clearly shows a man who believes in his mission and is actually ready to take full responsibility for leading others towards that same mission. The call is not just about money. Finally, the call from Chief Akogun is not only about money, but about the trust, about restoring the faith in a process that has seen too many delays and too much confusion in this ecosystem. His voice also appears to be representing thousands of Nigerians who wake up on a daily basis wondering when this long promise would finally manifest. The plan to involve representatives from every state is actually showing that he also wants the process to be inclusive and also democratic. No state should be left behind, no voice should be ignored, and every region deserves to be heard and represented. And bringing a SAN into the matter is sending some powerful signal that this issue is now entering the phase of legal accountability and not just speculation or online debate. It means that those who might have taken the beneficiaries' patience for granted may now be facing direct questioning and investigation. And I think that's a good step in the positive direction. If this move is actually properly executed, this could indeed become a major turning point. It will not only pressure those responsible to fast-track disbursement, but also it's going to set a precedent for future transparency in such a large-scale financial programs of this magnitude. So as things stand right now, the entire ecosystem is at a crossroads because Chief Akogun's reappearance and his fairy message has kind of reawakened both some level of hope and also scrutiny right now in this organ. His ultimatum of October 20th and his promise of expedited action by November 1st have also set clear expectations for them and for the masses. Now, all eyes seems to be on Mother Mungo's Israel and the South African team to see if there would be any tangible movement in response to his call. With this strong stance, finally push this long-awaited promise and disbursement into reality, or will it be another episode of passionate words without follow-through? One thing is certain, one thing is clear-cut certain, that Chief Akogun's voice has kind of ignited the conversation. He has positioned himself as a symbol of courage, and whether you agree with this method or not, his call for truth, his call for accountability and justice speaks to a national mood that actually refuses to stay silent any longer. So the next few weeks is actually going to be revealing whether this is the dawn of fulfillment or is a kind of yet another chapter in a long saga of having to wait. But for now, the people have found a renewed sense of direction and a leader who has vowed to fight until the promise becomes reality. Let's see what happens, what transpires between now and 20th and then 1st of November, whatever the case is. But we pray that everything goes according to precision and according to order, that we wouldn't have to wait that long at all for all of these things to start taking place. It doesn't make sense to me, having waited for all of this promise we've had. I think it should do better than that. All right, thank you very much. This is Prince Seed, and we always for the masses, and for the masses who would be. We appreciate you for standing by, your patience, your long suffering, your endurance. All of them are part of the process. I want to really appreciate every one of you for standing by through till this time. The grace to keep on until this miracle becomes a blessed reality. May God supply in the name of Jesus Christ. In case you're new, do kindly subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out on vital update. When we drop one, you certainly have one. And do have a nice day, and God bless you.